Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Larry Farver, and let's queer up the worldview. Corporations begin to drop DC World Pride sponsorship, citing Trump anti-DEI order. Well, Booz Allen Hamilton, a major U.S. government defense contractor, is withdrawing from World Pride 2025 after shutting down its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The company is eliminating diversity goals and banning employees from using pronouns or bathrooms that don't align with their assigned sex at birth if required by federal agencies. Chief People Officer Amy George Leary said Booz Allen must comply with changing regulations or risk losing government contracts. These changes follow Donald Trump's executive orders dismantling DEI programs and rescinding civil rights protections going back to Lyndon B. Johnson's Executive Order 11246. Sources close to the story suggest the move creates anxiety that other sponsors will follow suit after Booz Allen Hamilton has taken this action just 4 months before World Pride. The Capital Pride Alliance, which is hosting World Pride in Washington, D.C., has acknowledged the sponsorship loss, but remains confident in the event's success. Well, it's very disappointing looking at some things, and hopefully it's still in real time. I believe Apple was mentioned that they're still holding the fort, Coca-Cola, IBM, Berkshire Hathaway, amongst others. It is disappointing, though. I'm not going to mention the organization I work for. I'm hoping that other healthcare organizations in our South Florida area maintain their position no matter what, and that they don't let things like government contracts get in the way of doing what's right.
Yeah.
I've been advocating for my organization to do what the Holy Crosses of the world, and I know we all hear about Holy Cross all the time. We hear about Baptist Health. We hear about many of the other major players. And it's so important that we put our money where it belongs. I've had people say to me, why don't you go down to Chick-fil-A? And I have to explain that in this day and age.
Yeah. And you still do, unfortunately.
And the economic blackout that you mentioned before, Faye, we have to do that. We have to be seen.
And so understand that this is not just DC Pride, this is World Pride, right?
Absolutely.
It's supposed to be like a big freaking deal,
Absolutely.
right? And I had never been to a World Pride, so I was super excited that it was in our backyard, right?
Yes.
So to speak, you can take a plane to DC, it's not that serious, right? We can't talk about this without saying that this would have been a totally, completely different scenario and conversation if Kamala wouldn't have won, right? Everybody would have been like, there's no tickets. What are we going to do? We got to get up there, right? Because we would have wanted to be there for that.
Absolutely.
And it's quite different because that didn't happen, right? Unfortunately, we know who was appointed, and we on day one, what's his name? His name was Vince McConey. So Vince McConey was on the board of World Pride, of DC Pride, right? Gay. Right. And the first day of Trump being inaugurated, he was appointed to a high level position, becoming the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Labor. So he consequently left DC Pride, and that's just one of the many problems that they've been facing. I had started following DC Pride once it was announced last year or the year before. I even joined a Facebook group, right?
Yes.
Because of okay, maybe we'll take a bus up there. Maybe we'll be a part of it in some way, shape, or form, right? And that poor Facebook group, every single day I see people selling their tickets, saying that they no longer want to go, saying that they're worried because of the threat that let's be real, right? It could be a security threat.
Well, we wonder how well we would be protected.
Exactly. So it goes without saying that so many extra levels have gone on top of them that they weren't expecting since Trump's appointment, I want it to succeed. It's a pride. We need all the prides we can get, right? Gay Ocho is this Sunday. You need to get to every pride. We need to strengthen numbers to show that we're not going anywhere. And just because you're trying to erase us will not erase us. We will be there no matter what. So I'm hoping and praying for DC Pride, Larry.
I am too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We need to show up virtually and in person. I think that is imperative.
And now I'm going to age myself, but having attended the 1987 and 1993 March on Washington, we need that energy again. And I know it's hard for some of us who lived through that and said, we have it all behind us and here we are again.
Yeah.
But we need to teach our younger generations that they're going to have to fight for what is right.
That's right. I was born in 93.
I hate you. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.